Hi, I'm Jordan. Today I wanted to do a quick first impressions video of Voltage by Brian Yu and Mattel Games. I picked this one up on the clearance rack at Target for a couple bucks and figured, why not? Let's give it a try. It's a quick little card game. So let's look at a couple things I did like and maybe some things I didn't like. Alright, so let's first look at the rulebook. I think the rulebook is a pretty good representation of the game. Has a nice little setup here. Contents and setup, talks about what to do on your turn, how to win the game. It's just a couple pages long. It's set up really well, has some nice pictures. So all in all, I'd say the rulebook is definitely a win. So the components of the game are definitely good. These little plus and minus pieces are kind of a thick plastic. You can see like the edge on here, so there were multiple pieces put together. They're pretty solid, printed on here. The board is nice, pretty small, but does what it needs to do. The cards are really cool. They are pretty good quality, but you can also see they have this cool design printed on the cards that's a little raised and catches the light really interesting. So it kind of fits with that Voltage theme. And they are, it is on both sides of the cards, which is really cool. But so I say the components, also pretty great. So let's look at the cards real quick before we start playing the game. So in the deck we have the 4 color cards. We have orange, blue, purple, and green. Those come in the numbers 1, 2, and 3. And then also we have a switch card, which allows you to switch a card from one side of the board to your side of the board. Also, you have the X. You can play that on your opponent and remove a card from their side. So in Voltage, you can do one of 3 things on your turn. You can either play a card and then draw a card. You can play 2 cards from your hand as long as they're 2 different colors, or you can draw 2 cards. Whenever you play a card, you can play the card on your side or your opponent's side. So I could play a card here if I wanted to, or I could play a card here, and then I could draw a card. I could play 2 cards as long as they're different colors. So I could lay a purple card over here, and then I could lay a green card right here, and that would be the end of my turn. Or I could just draw 2 cards. So on your turn, after you've played your cards, let's say I'm going to play two cards here on my turn. You can play the cards there. You can play them on either side, remember. You look at the colors. So here we have 5 cards for orange. So once 5 cards are played under a color, you then see who is supposed to have more. If there's a minus, the person with the fewer points on their side wins that turn. And if they have more, if it's a plus, then they would win it. So here, if it was a minus like this, the person with the 2 points would beat the person with the 5 points. So those cards then clear, and whoever won would get to move up the track once. First person to win 5 sets wins the game. One of the interesting nuances in Voltage is the backs of these cards. Most of the cards have a plain dark colored V on the back, but some of the cards also have a yellow V. Whenever you draw a card with a yellow V, you still just put it into your hand. However, you get to change, you get to flip over one of these tokens. So if I flip this over, then the person with the 3 points over here is beating the person with the 2 points over here. So it's a cool way to kind of flip the script on your opponent to try to pull something out from underneath them. So that part of the game with the yellow V's on the back of the cards is interesting. However, it doesn't seem to come up as much as sometimes you'd like it to. So most of the cards, you'll see here, most of the cards do have the dark V's on them. And so they just don't flip as much as you'd want them to periodically throughout the game. And so sometimes you really can just get stuck depending on the cards in your hand and the cards that you're drawing, which can lead to some really frustrating turns, which I think really does bog down the game sometimes. Well, there's a little bit about Voltage. It's a quick little card game, kind of a push and pull or a tug of war kind of game. I don't know, there's not a whole lot to it, but I think it is still enjoyable. I was able to play it with my 7-year-old daughter, and she handled it pretty well. She actually beat me the first time we played it. I don't know what that says about me, but that's what happened. So I'll probably hang on to this one for a little bit longer and see if it gets any better, gets any worse. Right now it's kind of middle of the road, but it's not something I'm looking to get rid of right away. So I wouldn't say that's a glowing review, but it's not awful. All right, till next time. Thanks.